Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. This is the interview you've all been waiting for. I am in the house with Uncle James Ali Bashir. Uncle, how are you?
I'm okay. Everything's going okay.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, some stuff is going on. With this COVID thing it's preoccupying a lot of people's time, including mine. So I'm just trying to stay under the radar.
As you know, it's been just over a year since that unfortunate incident happened to you,
Yeah,
which changed your life.
yeah. It changed my life to a certain degree. I'm still coming back from, still fighting to get back to normal street. You know, but it is what it is. I have to, other people in life is struggling too. And when my mother had a saying. She said, when you think that your life is in upheaval, she said, just look to those who have less than you. And that's what I've done. I've looked at those who are less fortunate than me, far less fortunate. I look at the people in the different countries, Syria and things like that there, how people are suffering and stuff. So, my suffering is mild compared to them.
That's a way. Have you found it? What have you in the last year? How have you found dealing and coping with not being able to do the things you would normally do because of what happened?
Again, I think about the people in the different countries who are really, really suffering. And I'm not talking on an economic scale. I'm just talking about just trying to live, just trying to have any kind of normalcy in their lives. And then that makes me feel a bit better because I haven't been confronted with that kind of affliction. I'm just left to do what I must do or do what I can do. But I'm thankful to God that I have my life because that injury could have ended it.
Looking back, do you have any regrets? In terms of what has happened or what had happened, or do you just think it just played out the way it was going to play
Yeah,
out?
I have one regret is that I couldn't see him coming. That's the regret I have, that I couldn't see him. I have the regret that I couldn't retaliate. I really like that, but God knows best. God knows best. But I really felt that I wanted to retaliate. That would make, well, at least where I'm sitting now, that would make me feel a lot better if I could have retaliated, if I could have did anything to fight back. I've always been a fighter since I can remember. I've always been a fighter. I'm not the kind of guy that somebody can just crack over the head and walk away. No. Both of us should be good. Both of us should be in the hospital. But it is what it is, and I've moved on. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. I don't want it to eat me away on the inside, wishing that I could do something. So it is what it is.
I appreciate
but again, there are a lot of, like I said, a lot of people in the world are suffering, and my focus is on getting better. And I pray every day for the people in the world, all over the world, who are suffering, who are afflicted by much more than what I've ever been afflicted by. So, I have my prayers out there for those people.
And what are you? How do you feel about the legal implications to what happened with the young man and his criminal? Him being sentenced for a year. What is your feeling about that?
The same as it has always been, that I said to you early on that they was going to approach the situation in dealing with him and what he did to me. I told you that there were racial overtones would take place, and that's what happened. he should have been tried. He should have been tried. He should have been given a heavier sentence, you know, because what he did to me wasn't assault; it was attempted murder.
Mm-hmm.
But the racial dynamics is what made it different. The racial dynamics made it different in that we were both black males, and the general consensus here in the United States is that the ends, they do it all the time. That's nothing new. The ends kill each other all the time. They attack each other all the time. But in the same token, if there had been a white person, a male or female, Jim Lampley, you know, any
Teddy
Jim
Atlas.
Lampley, Teddy Atlas, Freddie Roach, you know, Kathy Duva, you know, any Larry Merchant, any one of those individuals, they would have tried this guy for attempted murder. And I believe that this guy is with the year sentence just lets him know that he's gonna get comfortable, that, you know, I can get away with doing stuff like this. And I suspect that somewhere, maybe not immediately, but somewhere in his life, he's going to do the same thing again to somebody else, and this time he's going to kill him. And then people will say, "Wow, you know, Bashir said back then that he would do it again. He'll do it again." So, you know, I think that he got off light. You know, they gave him a year. They made a plea bargain. A plea bargain is when, you know, you fall on the mercy of the court. Hey, I did it. What can I do? What can y'all do for me? Okay, we give you a slap on the wrist, 1 year, you know. But in fact, that was an attempted murder, you know. I guess you have to die to get the respect.
What did you learn about the sport of boxing in a moment of crisis for you?
What did I learn about the sport of boxing?
In terms of the boxing family, the boxing community, we're all there for one another.
Oh yeah, it was an immediate outpouring from around the world. I received telegrams and messages from around the world from people who I thought that had forgotten about me. So I got big respect from those people, and that's why I'm mindful of the things that I do as a representative of the sport. You know, I'm mindful of what I do. You know, I allowed myself to stoop to somebody else's level, but when somebody is putting their fingers in my face or putting their hands up to my face, it really gnaws away at me. It makes me angry, you know, that somebody would have that much contempt that they can put their hands on somebody else's face. And that's what started it, you know. But I'm thankful for the people who the outpouring that I received, the outpouring of love and respect that I received from around the world. I'm thankful. Thank you.
What have you? Is there anything you've heard within the media or read on Facebook or seen on social media or YouTube that you've read and you thought, no, that's not true? They need to hear my side of the story. What are the misrepresentations?
I heard a couple of podcasts, if you will, who had the story all twisted up. You know, saying that I had said derogatory things about one of the young ladies that was involved. I never said anything derogatory about a woman, you know, as far as her presence, as far as her character, as far as her sexual preference or anything. I never said that about anybody any time in my life. And the person that was saying it, I challenged them to find anywhere on the internet or any time that I said anything derogatory, you know, about the sexual preference of anybody. Never. No. So yeah, those things I got angry about. Those guys with the podcast that want to sound like they know what they're talking about. They want to be the guy that got the scoops so they go out there with the podcast saying, you know, if Bashir had did that to my sister, well, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. But those people don't know me. They don't know where I come from. They don't know what I've been through. You know, they talk the internet warriors, and they say different things about what they could and should do, but they don't have a clue as to who I am and, you know, where I've been and what I've been through. They don't know. But I will say, you know, you don't grow up on the streets of Harlem and Newark, New Jersey. You don't grow up in the places, you know, and you don't make it to adulthood being no gimme, no punk, you know. You have to fight for your survival. You have to fight for your survival.
Now,
nothing is a gift.
I was informed by brother Leon Muhammad. He said to me that things could have got pretty nasty because of what happened with your situation and your connections, and there were people that were willing to retaliate at the time, and he had to calm things down. I don't know how true this is, but this is what Leon Muhammad was alluding to before our interview got cut short because of poor weather.
Well, Leon knows a lot of the same people that I know. You know, and there are still people. There are still people who want to act on it, who thinks, you know, that I was violated, and they want to act on it. You know, I don't want to get involved in it because I'm going to be implicated. You know, I'm going to be implicated, so I don't. There are still people.
I heard.
Which people that I grew up around, people I grew up with, people that I was in the streets with as a young man. You know, like I said, people don't know me. People on the podcast, they don't know me. They don't know who I am, or where I've been, or what I've been through. They have no idea. They have no idea. You know, some punk sneak up behind me and bust me over the head and run out the door. He got no idea who I am, or what I've done, or where I've been. And there are people who want to act on it to this day, to this very day.
Yeah, brother Leon was saying to me that some very heavy individuals were talked down from, you know, some real some serious retaliation. When I heard what could have happened, and brother Leon said that he had to calm things down because it would have got out of hand, really out of hand.
Well, the people that I grew up around, you know, they're those guys, and they're no nonsense guys. Mm-mm. They're humble guys, but they're no nonsense guys. You know, they live by a code like in most circles like that. You know, I mean, you can go in the States, you can go anywhere. You can go to Chicago, you can go to Detroit, you can go to New York. You can go to New Jersey, you can go to Philadelphia. You know, you can go to. Most circles have a code,
and if you violate that code,
you don't cross certain lines. When you cross certain lines, you pay for it.
There's an expression: you don't tug on Superman's cape. There's a reason.
Yeah. You know, and once you cross those lines, well, you know, you got to expect some retaliation. Okay. To me, it's not worth me getting involved with something like that. You know, I want to be here for my grandchildren. You know, I want to be here to guide my children and with their children and their children's children. Hopefully, I'll have that kind of life. You know, and I can't do that if I'm implicated in some kind of bad thing that happens to somebody. You know, so I don't want to get involved in that.
Okay.
It's not going to change. It's not going to change what happened to me. So you know, so if it happens, I'm on paper now. So if it happens without my knowledge. You know.
From this incident, and from what I hear, there was a lack of security at the event. Does this make you more hesitant in the future when attending certain events, or is it just a
No,
freak incident that happened?
no.
Okay.
It just made me more alert because this guy angled himself. He waited for the ideal time and snuck up behind me and struck real quick and then was gone. So from replaying the events of what happened in my mind, I said this guy had to angle himself when I was alone, because most of the time after the argument I was with other people. So he angled until I was alone, then he struck and he was gone. And fortunately and luckily he ran into somebody outside the event.
So this was a. Did you feel that this was pre-planned and premeditated?
Certainly I did. After the argument, yeah, certainly I did. It was premeditated, yes.
Okay.
Because him striking me was not right afterwards. It was sometime afterwards. It had to be 10, 15 minutes after. So, yeah, he pre-planned it,
And what has been the situation with you? Obviously, you've sustained injuries. You've not been able to work. You were actually going about your business at the time. Things such as insurance and all those sort of things, have they helped? What's been going on? How have you been looked after?
Yeah,
Aftercare?
I'll use my insurance to get back to this far. I'll use my insurance.
You've used your own personal insurance?
Yes.
And you've had no sort of, donation or support from those in the boxing world?
No, I haven't asked for it.
And what about people that were involved in the event, the organizers of the event? There was a lack of security, no apologies, no this, no that. What's been the communication been like?
Those people could care less. Those people can care less. Business goes on as usual. Those people can care less.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Their position is there's one less egg to fry. Let's keep moving.
Okay.
Until something like that happens to them.
Okay. Let's move a little further on.
And it could happen.
It could happen
anytime.
It could.
It could happen.
Well, on the same week what happened to you, unfortunately, Errol Spence, drink driving, got himself into a very fortunate to be with us today. He himself was, when you were laying in a hospital bed, he was laying in a hospital bed as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Dark cloud over boxing, Both of us got our teeth knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing surgery on my mouth ever since. Every time I turn around, I'm doing something in my mouth. I still ain't got the teeth in, but I've done some things with my gums and stuff that had to be repaired. Then I have to wait. Then I had to do some more repair. Then I had to add some skin to my. It's a tough climb back. An injury like that, it's a tough climb. It's not a good injury.
So, talk to us, if you can, about the injuries that you have sustained.
It was oral injuries because I was totally unconscious when I hit the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I was struck with, and I do believe it was something metal. Something metal, something heavy metal. That's what it, like a pipe or some kind of iron. It was something metal, and it knocked me unconscious. And then I fell to the floor totally unconscious. I had no control over my fall. That's what knocked me down.
On a marble floor as well, not just any floor, a marble floor.
Marble floor, but I was totally unconscious. So I hit the floor face first. So, like I said, I'm grateful to God. I'm so humble and grateful that I'm alive, that I'm able to communicate with you right now.
Yes.
And I have bleeding on the brain twice.
Yes, you told me about that as well.
So So for me, just to be here talking to you is like a small miracle because of the injury. Twice I had bleeding on the brain. And people think that bleeding on the brain is an easy thing, but you can feel that something is wrong in your head. You can feel that something is wrong. You don't know where you're bleeding at, but your mood, your vision, everything is cloudy. You know, and all I can remember doing is saying, "I wish that this would go away." You know, I can deal with the other physical pain, but the bleeding on the brain, that was something. That was something.
You know, I have to be honest with you, Uncle. It has been difficult having conversations with you because it's like it's not. Although you look the same person, clearly because of the challenges that you faced, you will know where it's the same person, and understandably, you wouldn't be the same person going through the challenges that you were going through. It was a very, very difficult time, Uncle.
Yes, very difficult, and even with my family, you know, even with my own family.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be bothered in most cases, you know, and it's all kind. You know, I had to see with PSTD at, you know, like somebody had been in a
PTSD,
war,
PTSD, post-traumatic stress.
I could have been into a war or something, you know.
Disorder, yes.
I you know, it did some things to my character a little bit. It tampered with my character a little bit. You know, you think that you got things under control, and then there's times that I get angry. You know, I just get angry for no reason. You know,
yeah.
But you know, that's because I want to
punch him.
I want to bust this guy's ass, man. I want to bust his ass. You know, but you know, I got to do the good guy thing. You know, I got to walk down the street, with a smile on my face, like nothing is wrong, but something is wrong, you know, and I know something is wrong, so I got to wrestle with that demon for a while until I get over it, you know.
Yeah, I hear that. It's do you get flashbacks at all, things like that?
Huh?
Do you get flashbacks?
Yeah, I just keep asking myself, what could I have done different to avoid it? What could I have done different to protect myself better?
You could have come to London and done that. We could have done that tour of London together instead.
Yeah, maybe so.
We could have done that. We could have had that workshop together, Uncle. We could have done all those things together that we were planning to do.
Yeah. If I could have, would have, should have.
I know. And then your reflection on the fight. Now, after all you went through, all that and the fight.
You know, destiny is just there for all of us. Nobody knows what the next minute of our lives are going to entail. We don't know. We just don't know. And so we go on, unafraid to live, unafraid to be who we are. So we don't know what destiny holds for any one of us.
But you know.
But one thing we can't be afraid to live.
You know, I was angry when it happened, right? Obviously, but I thought to myself, well, that wouldn't have happened if if you'd been in England, because we would have been doing that whole tour and putting those things together.
No, I could have been in England when they were doing when they shooting the bridge. You know, you see what I'm saying? I could have been there on the bridge when the guy came on the bridge shooting those people.
Could have been.
You know, or something else would have happened. You know,
I guess so.
You can't question fate.
I know you can't question fate, but selfishly, and I'm being honest here, selfishly, then you look at the fight itself and what didn't materialize in the fight. For you to sustain those injuries for a fight that just nothing happened.
Yeah, I still go on, you know. I go on and I try to do the best I can. I go on and try to give the best that I can to those people who are under my auspices. You know, those people who entrust my knowledge. You know, those two people, those those few people who entrust my knowledge, I give my very, very best. I try to come back, you know.
So
I'm not 100%. I'm not 100%, but I'm better than what I was.
that's great to hear.
I'm better than I was 6 months ago.
So, on reflection, after the Shield fight over Ivana, what's happened since? I mean, I know, I think Ivana seems to have gone her own way now. What's the situation with that, Uncle?
I don't know what Ivana's going to do. I suspect that she's going to come back and she's going to fight again. You know, I think that she'll be the same mentality, and she'll come back. She'll try to climb her way back into the boxing ring. Will I be with her or not? I don't know. You know, I think that fight, gut feeling is that the fight would have been different. She had to get used to another trainer, and I don't think that they quite meshed together. You know, Stevie was a good trainer for her, and she was a very good fight, but they just couldn't get on the same page during the fight. And you know, if all that stuff happened, all that stuff played into her psyche.
Yeah.
You know, all of that played. I felt that if we had fought her when we were supposed to fight, I think that the fight she would have gave a better account of herself. But it was so much she had to adjust to and alter and this and that. So you know, and it was tough for her. You know, it was tough for her. It was tough for Steve.
Yeah.
So you know, can't knock them. They went out there. She went the distance, and hey.
Yeah. We move on. It was a bad day. You move on, and you can come back. And then after that, obviously, we have Vlad Sirenko. So, can you clear this up for us? Because myself and Eugene were looking at this situation. I think I spoke to you before about the whole Usyk situation, where I said back in the day that maybe you should have a contract with Usyk, and if you had that contract with Usyk, then even if they were to take Usyk away from you,
I'm going to tell you again. I've been in boxing for 51 years.
uh-huh.
When a fighter doesn't want to be with you, contracts won't help you. Contracts ain't going to help you.
But a contract,
no, they're not going to help you, man. I'm telling you. I've been there and done that in this sport, and I think maybe 2 times out of so many times I've had contracts, only 2 times where I went to court and successfully got paid. The other times I put up a whole lot of money for attorneys. I put up a lot of time flying back and forth. I'd be in a training camp in New York, and then I have to fly out to LA just for a 15-minute court hearing. You know, that the attorney couldn't be there by himself, so I had to fly to LA, be present, then fly back to New York, then fly back to LA. When a fighter wants to get out of a contract, there are ways to get out of it. Most of the time, you cannot defeat them.
Well,
you spend a lot of money.
Well,
you'll spend.
What about just a release clause where, you know, okay, if you want to leave, you've got to pay me X amount of money before you leave. That's it. At least you're sorted.
What I'm trying to tell you is that it's not that simple. It's not that simple.
So
especially when they get into another person who has money to fight you in the courtroom.
So all they
come up with this clause, they come up with that clause, they come up with this clause, and you'll wind up spending up with it $10,000, $11,000, $15,000.
But hold on,
and get nothing done.
Okay, so hold on. So you explained to me that all these top promoters in the world or managers in the world who've got these contracts with these fighters, surely they must be using a golden contract or a contract that you can adjust slightly to suit you as a trainer, stroke manager. Because if it works for them, it's got to work for you. Same paper, ain't it?
It don't work all the time. You think that it work all the time, but it don't work all the time.
But it's certainly.
I've seen ironclad. I've seen Bob Arum. I've seen Don King that had contracts that didn't hold water in the courtroom, where the boxer was allowed to walk away without losing a cent, and they lost money. Bob Arum and Don King Bob Arum and Don King lost money. What is that telling you about me? My bank ain't that long. You know, when I gotta spend $1,000, to me that's putting a dent in my bankroll, because I'm $1,000. Now then when I get up to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, then I'm really upset. I try to meet with the fighter and say, look, let's make a deal. You understand? Let's make a deal. You look at the Terry Norris situation with Don King. Don King came in court. This is after Terry Norris' career. Don King came in the courtroom. Terry Norris came in the courtroom. You know, and then the jurors came out and asked the judge, "Can we have a calculator?" And Don King looked up and said, "A calculator?" So when the judge adjourned the hearing, Don King said, "Tell Terry I need to talk to him alone," because Don King felt that if the jurors asked for a calculator, what they get ready to do to me? Don said, "No, ain't nobody gonna do it. Look, Terry, I'm gonna give you a little bit of money, and we're gonna make a deal, and we're gonna walk out separate ways. Don't go back to the courtroom. You don't have to go back, because I won't pay you." You understand?
Yeah.
He wound up paying Terry to walk away. You understand?
Yeah.
He said, "Just don't go back in that courtroom," because he didn't want to take no chances with them people with the calculator.
Damn.
Because the calculator was so they could total how much Don owed Terry. So I got a couple of dollars here. Take this money and go back to Terry. So you don't want to get into that. Vlad Sirenko and I are solid. I feel good about Vlad Sirenko. You know, I feel good about him. You
Uncle?
know, I communicate with him regularly.
Uncle?
Yeah.
Forgive me for my skepticism. You said the same thing to me about Usyk, and I told you about Usyk. Yeah. Did I not tell you about Usyk?
But I think that, and this is only my thoughts. I think that Vlad Sirenko is a different human being.
Okay.
From Usyk, you know, and I think that if Vlad Sirenko walk out the door, that Vlad Sirenko would take care of me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
yeah, but
I don't want to get into that. Yeah, I'm done with the contract stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I hear that, but I don't want to see an Uncle. You know how much I love you. I don't want to see another situation of that situation happen again. You know, we've seen Usyk now as a promoter, and Sirenko's on the bill with him. And the first time you're not there, we've seen Sirenko getting rocked. Well, here we go.
Yeah, he got rocked. But he immediately called me and said, "Listen, the next time I step in the ring, that you have to be with me." This is what Sirenko did. And I thought that was admirable on his behalf. He called me immediately upon leaving the ring and said, I was sleeping a little bit. I got rocked, you know, but the next time I step in the ring, that you have to be there. I don't care if you're at ringside, you have to be there because I value you. This is what Vlad Sirenko told me. And for me, that's admirable of him to do that. Because he didn't have to do that.
Yeah, well, admirable. Well, if he got knocked out, he would soon find out that maybe he's not as valued as he may think because he fought on Usyk's card. Because remember, these guys didn't want to know about Vlad Sirenko. They didn't want to know about Vlad Sirenko. You've been looking after him and molding him and working with him, and suddenly he's getting a bit of attention, a bit of shine.
Vlad Sirenko understands that. He understands that. He understands that.
You mean that right hand?
I took him on. I took Vlad Sirenko on when nobody would take him on.
Exactly.
Nobody in the world would take him on. Not even the people in Ukraine. I took him on. The father asked me to take him on. I said, "Sure, I'll take him on." And from scratch, from the dust, we came up together. And now he's 14-0 with 13 knockouts.
Well, you tell me how you would feel as if the same man that took Usyk away from you, the same man comes and takes Sirenko away from you. How's that going to make you feel?
I would make me. I would be disillusioned, but I would be disillusioned with Vlad, not with the guy who did that with Usyk.
Yeah, but blood is thicker than water, right?
Look, if you know what, a person goes away with another person because they wanted to. If a woman is with a man is with a woman decides that she wants to leave. She wanted to leave anyway.
Not really. Well, we're going to talk about the story about Adam and Eve. Was there not a snake that was involved? The snake put. If we talk about Adam and Eve, a snake was involved.
I'm just telling you, a person leaves because they wanted to leave.
They leave sometimes because they're manipulated.
There's different reasoning process that they might utilize when they want to leave.
People can be manipulated and poisoned. Come on.
Heart has a lot to do with it too. You know, if somebody says, "Look, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that," you can go. You know, you go and you see it that way, and say, you know, he's right. I'm gonna go this way. I just don't. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. I know that I believe that I'm gonna have the victor be the victor.
Uncle, Uncle, you've gone quiet. Uncle, you've gone quiet. Uncle, 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 you've gone quiet. Yep. Hold on a second. We've just lost Uncle Bashir there. He'll be back in a moment. Uncle? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, your sound went. You were going real quiet. Didn't hear a word of what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. You were talking about sirenko.
Most people, you know, Vlad Sirenko, I've gotten very close with this young man in the years that we've been together. You know, and I just don't believe that he's that kind of individual. Nah, I just don't do that. I just don't feel that he would do something like that.
They didn't.
I think we in this thing to the end. We're gonna see this thing. We're gonna see this career. We're gonna see his career to the end. We're gonna work together till the end. Till I'm gone or he's gone, until he's come and make his mark.
Didn't Usyk say the same thing? Huh? And didn't you and Usyk say the same thing? And Usyk said he was like, you were like a dad to him, and he went and did that to you.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was a shock to me. It was a real shock to me that Usyk elected to go on, but he went through two, maybe three trainers after me. So it leads me to believe that Usyk was just trying to find himself, trying to find his own niche. You know, it doesn't affect me because one boxer can never belie the kind of trainer I am, the kind of person I am. One boxer can't define that. One boxer cannot define who I am, what I've been to boxing. You know, what kind of stature I have in boxing. So what did I do when Usyk decided to move on? What did I do? I picked up my bags and moved to the next fighter. And just happened to be Vlad Sirenko. Vlad Sirenko came to me with his father and said, "Listen, I want you to train me. I want you to teach me." He's 14-0 with 13 knockouts, so I didn't do such a bad job.
Nope.
You know, I guided Alexander Usyk to the World Championship. He said that himself. that I guided him to the world championship. I guided him to be able to break the great Evander Holyfield's record. Holyfield was 12-0 when he won the world championship. Usyk was 10-0, and I guided him, and I told him that he can beat the champion with just the 10 fights.
Wow!
I kept building that through all the time he was training because he had such a vast amateur career. I told him maybe 6, 7 fights. You could fight for the title in the next 2, 3 fights, and we did. We went to Poland, and did a masterful job. We did a masterful job. I think the scores was 120, 110, 120, 110, 119, 111. So that's telling you the kind of fight that it was. It was almost a shutout. And this is in Poland. This is in Poland. This is in his country. So if a person cannot appreciate that, and there are insiders, that I've spoken to and I still speak to, that said that Usyk hasn't looked the same since we parted ways.
I've been saying it for the longest while. He's taking too many punches now. Footwork's not as good, but people say, it's only because you like Uncle Bashir. You just have to look at the guy. He's not looked impressive in his last 3 fights. But,
And the fight that he's getting ready to have is a very dangerous fight. I think he can win it, but it's a very dangerous fight nonetheless.
Talk to us about the fight, Usyk-Chisora.
Well, he's going to be in it with a hungry lion. Derrick Chisora, he's a rough, tough guy. And he can punch. He's going to put a lot of pressure on Alexander Usyk. I know Usyk will be prepared for him because I know the kind of guy Usyk is. He's going to come, 101% in shape and ready to fight. And Derrick Chisora is going to come in 101% shape and be ready to fight. It's going to be a dog fight. It's going to be a dog fight. I think that Usyk wins the fight, but I think the fight is going to end in a KO. I don't think that fight is going to go to the distance. Somebody's going to get KO'd in that fight.
Wow.
Somebody's going to get KO'd in that fight. I don't see that fight going the distance.
Why?
Because of the mentality of both men. The mentality is what's going to turn them on.
Okay.
Usyk is coming in there like a wolf, and Chisora is going to come in there like a bear. It's going to be a bear and a wolf, and they're going to battle it out. So it's going to be close quarters, and it's not going to be a boxing match.
So it's a fight you're looking forward to, then?
Yes, it's a fight that I anticipate and look forward to. Well, I'm looking to the fight tomorrow night, Lomachenko versus Lopez.
I'm going for Lomachenko. Experience.
Yeah, I'm going for Lomachenko because I think that experience is going to be a real critical role in this fight.
Yeah.
Because Lomachenko has been hurt. He's been down, and he's the one with the 400 amateur fight. So he's seen every style.
There is.
He's been in there under all kinds of stress, all kinds of duress. He's been in there, and he's been hurt. He got hurt in the last fight with versus Luke Campbell. He got hurt in the Linares fight. He got knocked down. He got knocked down by Linares, and Linares is a very good puncher. And he got up, and he dusted his phone call and said, okay, let's see how you act when I come back and hit you. And Linares couldn't stand up. He couldn't stand up because the guy's been hurt. When you've been hurt and then you come through the fog and come back to your stature and you take over and you win the fight, that means something to me.
Yes.
It's easy to say about what you could or should do, but doing it is a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely.
Lomachenko has been hurt, and he's can't, when you hurt like that, it's hard to come back and then come back and win. To me, Luke Campbell was holding on for dear life in that last round.
That's what I said.
He was about to get knocked out, and he knew it. So he was skating. He was slipping and sliding. He just wanted to go to distance. He didn't want to get knocked out. But he was on the way to getting knocked out. Everybody saw it. That body shot that he hit Lomachenko with in the 11th round, I believe it was, he hit with a good body shot. In the lower right part of his stomach. He hit him hard. And Lomachenko just shook it off and kept on coming.
Yeah.
Lopez is a very, very good puncher with both hands.
But he's a good puncher. He's a good puncher against guys who stand right in front of him, but Lomachenko's not going to be there to get hit with them sort of punches.
Yeah, Lomachenko is a crafty guy. Alexander Usyk is a crafty guy. I just think that those guys' craftiness is what gets them by. If Usyk can adapt his old style, slip, slide, just box, pick his place, pick his spots to punch, and then keep moving, he can win this fight. But if he stays there with Chisora, he might run to a brick wall.
What was your thoughts of Deontay Wilder's second fight with Tyson Fury? Was he drugged? Was it the gloves? Was it the costume? What was it, Uncle? In your opinion?
I can't put my finger on what it was, but I know that Tyson Fury put Deontay Wilder's right hand in mothballs. You understand? He put his right hand in a place where he could not utilize it, and that was the beginning of the end for Deontay, because Deontay didn't have nothing to fall back on. He just never learned how to box. And I don't know if he can learn at this stage of his career, because he's so used to knocking people out that he's so into to putting people to sleep that I don't know if he can learn now. I don't know if somebody can teach him how to use the right hand. Teach him how to box now, because he's become accustomed to knocking people out with his right hand, and that's it. As soon as I hit you with the right hand, you're going to sleep, and I'm going home. So I don't know if he can do that. I thought that it was a poor performance. I thought that Mark Breland was right on point by stopping the fight before Deontay got hurt.
But what do you? I know a lot of people say that, but if your fighter tells you, and he was the assistant coach, not the head coach. The head coach didn't stop the fight. The assistant stopped the fight, which is Breland.
Well, you know what? He's the assistant coach, but I think instinctively he threw that towel in. Instinctively, because Mark Breland has been there. Mark Breland has been hurt. He's been in a circumstance, where somebody had to throw the towel in for him. So instinctively, he threw that towel in to stop his fighter from getting injured. And if Deontay Wilder is out there listening, he should listen to what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't care about what somebody else think about my opinion. My opinion is one of profession. I've been there. I've been there for 51 years, and I know. I had a young man fighting the kid that got injured, the Russian kid that got injured.
Gavoski.
Abdul Salama.
Oh, that one.
Russian.
Okay.
I had a young man fighting Abdul Salama one night in Atlantic City, and my guy was doing good in the first round, but right at the end of the first round, he took a good right hook. Abdul Salama was a lefty, and he took a good shot on the chin, and I didn't like the way my guy looked when he was walking back to the corner. So I wrestled with myself in the corner. I said, all right, go back out there. He went back out there, touched the box, stay around your left side, and just use your jab until you can find a window for the right hand. Don't throw the right hand until you know you're going to hit something, the chest or the chin. And he's out there working his jab pretty good. And this kid, Abdul Salama, came and hit him with a good, stiff left hand in the solar plexus. That wobbled him. He clipped him with the right hand and knocked him down. He got up, moved around a little bit more. He went down again. He got up, and I looked at his eyes, and I waved the fight off. I said, stop it. And the people in the corner was with me, said, no, don't stop it yet. I said, stop the fight now. And the guy I motioned the guy to come to the corner. He was walking sideways to the corner. He said, I'm all right. I said, no, you're not all right. So it's better to stop a fight too soon as opposed to stopping it too late.
But Wilder says his argument is, well, when I was telling people I wanted to catch a case and all this stuff, and I wanted to catch a body, he said I can't be talking like that one way, and as soon as a bit of trouble comes my way, I want to get a fight stopped.
That's bull. That's bull. That's bull. That's a lot of bravado, a bravado BS. It's bravado. It doesn't mean nothing when somebody's dead. When somebody's at the morgue and his family is crying, they've got children. When people cry at the morgue, then they start looking for people to blame, their commissions and stuff. No. You stop a fight beforehand. Mark Breland was an angel that night. And Mark Breland will go on to train other fighters. I think that he did the right thing. I think that he should be commended for stopping the fight. All right? All that did, I want to go out on my shield and all that false bravado, ignorant bull. All right? Don't do that. Okay. Same thing with Monty Barrett. I had Monty Barrett fighting the giant, Nikolai Valur. I stopped the fight. So what? We stopped the fight. We lived today. And now today when I talk to Monty talks like a scholar. He talks like a scholar. He's a businessman. If you talk to Monty Barrett talks like a scholar. He talks like somebody that he's a college professor. And that makes me happy that I was his trainer.
Wow.
When the guy, I see fighters all over the world. All over the world, I see them, and they can't even say their name right.
No, it's not good, is it?
No, it's not good. But that's because the people that was with them were so brave to keep sending them out there, And then when the story is all over, all the boxing is over, those people go back to their families in one piece, in one part of the world, and the fighter is left with his family in another part of the world, and they never see those fighters again. And those fighters will walk around stumbling them. They can't walk straight. They can't say their name straight. They can't read right. And they can't hold a job. Why? Because they're what they call punch drunk. My fighters don't get punch drunk because I'll stop the fight in a minute. If you can't handle the workload, then we need to stop and come back another day. But I'm not going to let you go out there and get your brains knocked out. I'll stop the fight.
Okay. Your thoughts on Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson in November?
Next question, man. I don't want to talk about that.
Why?
I'll have no investment in that. I'll have no investment in that.
Oscar De La Hoya coming back?
No investment in that.
The Charlo brothers?
All the guys you mentioned had their day. And that's how I like to remember them when they had their day.
There was some talk of Tyson saying he wanted to fight Anthony Joshua.
What'd you say?
There was some talk of Tyson saying he wanted to fight Joshua.
Oh, God. And that's not a good idea. It's not a good day for Mike. It's not a good idea because Mike would have to get to Anthony Joshua in 3 rounds. If he don't get him in 3 rounds, he's going to get his ass whooped.
But could Mike get to Joshua in 3 rounds?
Huh?
Could Mike get to Joshua in 3 rounds?
No, I don't think so. I think Joshua is smart enough to play his card right, to stay away from Mike for that long. Joshua's a big guy, big young guy. Tyson is a little old guy. And Joshua is smart. He's been around boxing long enough to know survive against a Mike Tyson or anybody like Mike Tyson.
Okay, well, we'll leave them alone then. The Charlo brothers, you saw them fight recently. What do you think of their performances?
I think they're good fighters. I think they don't get enough respect. Those guys are fighters, man. Those guys are fighters, and I think that they deserve some respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're two brothers, and they come to work, and they come to fight. They should just give them some respect. The guy can fight.
That's another belt for Derrick James, considered one of the best trainers in the world now because of his accomplishments with Charlo and Errol Spence. What are your thoughts on Derrick James?
I think he's a good trainer. You know, my mother would say that the proof is in the tasting of the pudding. So Derrick James is the man. He's on point. He's producing good fighters. He's got Charlo and he got this other
Spence.
Kid, Errol Spence. So respect Derrick James. I respect him.
2 of the top 10 pound for pound fighters he's got in his gym. That is something, isn't it?
Yes, it means something. You know, for those who don't want to respect him, they will. You know, they will.
Okay.
He's the mindset behind those guys, and those guys are complacent with him. So yeah, respect the Derrick James. I respect him.
Dillian Whyte, Alexander Povetkin, the first fight. Your thoughts?
I thought that Dillian had Alexander, but Alexander's a tough guy. He's tough mentally. See, that's first and foremost. People look at a boxer's style and think that they can do this, that, or the other with their style, but they first got to have that mental fortitude. And Alexander Povetkin is tough. Mm-hmm. You saw that first knockdown. He went in the corner and he shook his head. He was angry with himself. He shook his head like, damn, how did I get hit with that? And he went back and went down again. He went down again. Dillian Whyte can punch. And Povetkin got back up. And again he shook his head and said, what is wrong with me? I can't get myself together. And the awkwardness of the knockout punch. Nobody saw that punch coming. Not even Dillian Whyte. That was one of the most awkward punches I've ever seen in the sport of boxing. Who would ever thought that somebody would dip inside and throw a left uppercut? And he put Dillian Whyte out. He put him out. I don't know whether Dillian Whyte can come back and correct that this soon, because the momentum is going to be with Povetkin. You know, Povetkin is thinking that I did it once. This time I want to do it soon. I'm going to get this face early and make them exchange. That was a beautiful uppercut. Beautiful.
What do you think of the strategy that Dillian Whyte took? He said that he was going to break Povetkin down. Teddy Atlas warned him against it. He went, "No, we've got a plan. We're going to break Povetkin down." What did you make of the game plan?
Well, I think that he was on his way to breaking him down. He had 2 knockdowns in the fight, but I think that he just got a little too relaxed. No caution. It's different things that I'm noticing in boxing that the teachers or the trainers or the coaches don't teach. I'll keep that to myself because, like I said, I'm not here to train trainers. But there are some things that Dillian Whyte should be doing that he's not doing that would give him more time to set his punches up. There's some things that Dillian Whyte is not doing that he should be doing, especially at this part of his career, that he should be doing to set his punches up. But he went out there and lackadaisically and Man, that guy, he got hit with an uppercut, man. He's lucky that he didn't get his jaw broke because he never saw that punch. Billy White never saw that punch.
In my preview to the fight, I said there's 3 ways that Povetkin can attack Dillian White. I said the overhand right. No, I said the 2 ways. The overhand right, which is how Parker dropped him, and the uppercut is how Joshua knocked him out and how Rivas dropped him. Joshua knocked him out with the uppercut. Rivas dropped him with the uppercut. Parker knocked him down with the overhand right.
Mm-hmm.
And what did Povetkin knock him out with? Right, the uppercut.
The uppercut.
Yeah, Povetkin was looking for it from round 1.
A very vicious uppercut. That wasn't just an uppercut. That was a very vicious uppercut. I'm surprised that he didn't break his jaw.
It's the way Dylan landed. Never mind how he broke his jaw. I mean, the way he landed was pretty bad. I mean, 28 days. 28 days?
Yeah.
Should be 45.
Yeah, he nailed him. He nailed him good. He nailed him really good.
What are your thoughts on him rushing to come back to fight Povetkin again, Uncle, in your professional opinion?
I think it's bravado. I just think it's false bravado.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's bravado, trying to prove something. No, he didn't knock me out. He didn't knock me out. I'm gonna show y'all why, I was winning the fight. I just made a mistake. That's how it's being perceived. That I made a mistake. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna correct the mistake. But the momentum is with Povetkin. And I think that Povetkin is going to come out with a totally different game plan and more aggression.
That's what I think. So if the game plan is, we were doing well up to the point you got caught, go back and do exactly what you were doing before, just don't get caught this time, you win the fight. Is that a game plan?
No. That's a prescription for ass whooping.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Because if you go back to camp and you say, if you go back and look at study cake, yeah, look, we were in control round 1, we were in control round 2, we were in control round 3, we were in control round 4, we got the knockdown, round 5 we got knocked out. So I never, but for me, I never knew in control meant you were left horizontal looking up at the lights. Something's gone wrong. So you got knocked out. So if Povetkin was trying that from round 1, if he was trying it from round 1, he was looking for that punch from round 1. Why didn't the corner? Why didn't the trainer? Why didn't whoever it was in that corner see? See that?
Is a unique guy, very soft-spoken guy, very manly, very humble, but he's a beast in that ring, and he's strong. I've been in the camp with him there in Russia.
The sirenko?
Yeah, in Russia, with Sirenko in Russia. We spent time there in the camp. And the guy is just a humble gentleman. He's a humble gentleman.
Wow.
But when that bell rings,
he's a beast.
He's a beast.
When you were in camp with Sirenko and Dubois was there, did you manage to see Dubois spar Povetkin at any point, or had you guys gone by then?
Yeah, I saw Dubois spar Povetkin.
How did that go?
It went good. I mean, he gave as good as he took. Dubois gave as good as he took. He was standing in there with Povetkin, Povetkin is not moved by nobody. And you got to look at the people that Povetkin is following. Povetkin is much like Vladimir Klitschko in that they look for the best guys in the world to spar with. A lot of guys, when they go in pursuit of sparring, they don't want to spar with the top guys. They don't spar with the top guys. They spar with guys that they know that they can beat on. But Povetkin is much like Vladimir Klitschko in that they bring in the best sparring in the world. So he brought in Dubois, and I thought that was admirable that he brought in Dubois. I thought it was admirable.
Interesting. On the subject of Dubois is going to be fighting Joyce in November. Your thoughts?
I think that Dubois wins that fight. Joyce is there to be hit. Dubois is a much better boxer. He's boxing better than Joyce. Joyce, I think that Joyce is going to try to walk Dubois down, but he might run into a brick wall at that. I just got Dubois winning the fight.
Okay, well I've got Joyce.
Not by a large margin, because Joyce is a good fighter, and he's strong, and he's a strong guy.
Okay, Uncle. Well, I'll take you up on that one. I'm going with Joyce.
Okay.
I'll take you up on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Dubois can get him.
I think Joyce is going to get him. Who's Dubois fought as an amateur or a pro? Tell me.
Don't matter. Styles is what makes fights. And I think that Dubois is going to get him. Don't matter. I ain't trying to look at no fight before this fight. Styles is what's going to make this fight. It always has and always will. That's the whole bottom line. Styles make fights.
All right, Uncle. I'll take my money in the back pocket again and get back to you afterwards. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take money out your back pocket.
Yeah.
I'll take the money out your back pocket and I'll get back to you afterwards. All right, because I feel sorry for you. All right.
Okay.
Can't be taking money.
I think Dubois is it.
Okay, Uncle. All right. What about your mate Joshua versus Pulev?
I got Joshua.
Okay. All right.
I got Joshua, and I got him by KO.
Okay, Uncle. Obviously, that bank account of yours, obviously, must be nice and fat at the moment. Clearly, your bank account must be nice and fat at the moment. Obviously, you want to give something to the Jones charity. I can understand. Right. Yeah. Okay. What about
Joshua gonna take him to school.
All right.
He's gonna beat him.
Yeah, like he did against Andrews in the first fight, right? But we won't talk about that. Let's talk about Tyson Fury, and I think it'll be Ajit Kabayel. What do you think of Kabayel?
Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
And who?
Ajit Kabayel, the European heavyweight champion. He beat Derek Chisora. Unbeaten.
I don't know him. I haven't taken a look at him. I don't know him from a can of paint.
Okay, well I'll send him to you. So
send me a link. Send me a link, and then I can take a look at him.
Okay. The front runners are Kabayel, Michael Hunter, Charles Martin, Oscar Rivas.
I can tell you right now, Michael Hunter is not going to get it.
That's what I said.
Tyson Fury don't want to see no Michael Hunter.
That's what I said. Don't want any part of that.
He don't want. Tyson Fury don't want to see no Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter is the butcher.
It's a problem.
He come to the slaughterhouse to get meat, and nobody wants to see Michael Hunter, because Michael Hunter got that kind of style that will make a person really look bad if you don't know that. And I don't think that Tyson Fury want to mess with that.
Nope.
Not after seeing what Wallen did. Wallen did that to him. I can imagine what Michael Hunter was going to do. So I don't think that Tyson Fury is looking forward to seeing no Michael Hunter in that ring.
What are your thoughts on this Glovegate situation with Fury?
It means nothing to me. I don't want to hear about no Glovegate. I don't even want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I respect you on that. What do you? Oh, the other thing that's happened since what's happened is the Black Lives Matter movement. Obviously, you've been a man that's marched with the civil rights movement back in the day. How do you feel about this Black Lives Matters movement and
I
the
think
marching?
Black Lives Matter is significant, and it
Okay.
would be more profound in its significance if Black people would stop killing each other. You know, when we stop killing each other, when we stop going against each other, stop murdering each other across the with the world. You know, wherever we are, we just killing each other. So Black Lives Matter is very significant, but it'd be more significant, more profound, more in depth if and when Blacks stop murdering Black, but stop murdering anybody. But we murder each other more than anybody. And I'm just saying, I don't want to see Black murder nobody, but especially stop murdering each other. Then it becomes a really, really good torch of righteousness. But until we stop doing that, overall, until we stop killing each other, you know, it's just backwards. Black Lives Matter. Nobody takes it serious because they see how many Blacks is murdering Blacks. You know, so when we stop murdering each other, then it really will take on a valid face.
On the closing subject, I've mentioned this before about racism in boxing, and there are people who still say there's no racism in boxing. Floyd Mayweather was the highest paid boxer in the world. Look at Floyd, he's black. How can there be racism in boxing?
Floyd Mayweather is a dynamic boxer. Floyd Mayweather, nobody gave him nothing. He earned what he got. I was just talking to a guy in a gym in New York. And I said, Floyd Mayweather, you never heard anything about Floyd Mayweather having problems making the weight. You never heard Floyd Mayweather not being ready when he came in the ring. You never heard, if I had did this, it would have been different. Floyd Mayweather was never a guy for excuses. You come to the ring, I'm going to whoop your behind, then you go home, I'll go home with my money. So Floyd Mayweather deserves respect. He deserves respect. He earned it. And he worked hard to get it, you know? And I respect that, you know?
So your argument...
So for those people who are saying that Floyd didn't do this or Floyd didn't do that there, pump them. What they know about boxing.
And racism within boxing, Uncle? Does it exist?
Does racism exist in boxing? Yes, it does. Just like it exists everywhere else. Why should boxing be any different? Why should boxing be any different? You know, I keep telling you. Just take, for instance, if my situation that happened to me, put Jim Lampley in that box, Larry Merchant, Teddy Atlas, Kathy Dubois. Put those people in that same situation where somebody walk up behind them with some metal or iron in their hand and crack them over the head and put them in that same position. Do you think that he would have got a year? I don't think so. Do you think he would have got charged with aggravated assault? No, I don't think so. The dynamics of the flesh, black on black, made it different. So yeah, I think it's racism in America. How can one human being be different from another human being? I breathe the same air, I bleed the same blood. So why was my case different? Because I'm black. And nobody can come to your program and argue that fact and prove to me that it wouldn't have been different. The average person knows that it would have been different. Yeah, racism is existing in boxing. I told you that a long time ago.
I know.
I told you a long time ago, racism is alive and well in boxing, just like it is in the rest of the world. And that's what people are fighting out there in the street for now. People fight to try to get rid of that shit, that, you know, the fact that there's white privilege. Of course it's white privilege. You got a guy that go inside of a church and kill 9, 10 people, just murder them, and they take him to Burger King and get them a cheeseburger on the way to jail. Then you get a black person, you know, that got a toy gun, and seconds after the police on the scene, they kill a kid. Yes, racism exists in boxing just like it does in the rest of the world. And it's gotta go. White privilege has gotta go. It's gotta go. I don't care who don't like what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying is the truth. They know what I'm saying is the truth. White privilege has got to go. You know, and I'm leading the tour. I'm leading the march against it. White privilege has got to go.
Okay.
You know?
Uncle, there have been so many people who've been asking me to get you to do this interview with you, and I'm so grateful and I'm just honoured to be the person to get this interview with you. Do you have a message to those people who have been wanting to hear from you and wanting this interview?
Support boxing, right? Support boxing. So support what's right and not what's wrong. You know, and I'm talking to the white fans as well as the black fans, the Asian fans, you know, whoever. God made this earth for all of us to live in. You know, I can't understand how could somebody be racist. Did you upset with people because they're here on earth? Be upset with God. God created man. God put all of us here. So don't be upset with the people that's here. Be upset with God. You know, you say you believe in God, but you don't believe in His creation. What a hypocritical thing to do. What a hypocritical stance to take. How could you say that you believe in God and you don't believe in His creation? Oh, I go to church. I go to the mosque. I go to the synagogue. I do this. I do that. I do everything right. But you don't believe. How could you say you believe and then show racism? That's the hypocrisy of it all. So I think the people should just learn to live with other people. Learn to live with other people. You ain't got to take them in your house and get in bed with you. They ain't got to be in your house with their shoes on watching television with you. Just show some respect. Show some honor, you know? It's terrible. It's terrible that all these centuries done passed. And man, still up here talking about this people, and that people, and this people, you know? I think that the Irish people is better than the Italian people. I think the Italian people is better than the black people. Black people better than the Indian people, you know. And then, you know, we want a neighborhood over here our own. God made the human family, man. And when people learn how to coincide with God's creation, it's going to be better. You know, it's going to be better. You know, people don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do this. But you're going to have to, because ain't nobody going nowhere. Ain't nobody going nowhere without the other. Ain't nobody going nowhere without the other. Everybody going together or ain't nobody going. That's what it is, you know. And then, like, you got people here in the States talking about blue lives matter. This lives matter. That lives matter. Making mockery of the Black Lives Matter.
Did you
Black
see?
Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is not saying that black lives are more important than the other. No. Black lives matter because black lives are the ones who have been downtrodden and trampled in this country, here in America. We've been used and abused and trampled under president after president after president after president after president after president. And everybody looked over like Black Lives Matter. That's why nobody has suffered under the yoke of oppression the way blacks have in these United States. That's why they say Black Lives Matter. That's why we say it, you know. It's not that our lives are any different from anybody, but we are the ones who are that's why they highlight Black Lives Matter. Because nobody is getting murdered like that in this country. Every time you turn around, every other week. Even since George Floyd got murdered, there's been four, maybe 5 other murders by police against black people. So yeah, Black Lives Matter. You know, that's what it is.
What do you make of Tyson Fury's march with a Travelers Matter?
What happened?
Tyson Fury was doing a march with Travelers Matter.
Again, everything is based on Black Lives Matter. I don't know what Tyson Fury is doing with the Travelers Matter. I don't know. You know, it's probably something that is going on with the Gypsy. But nobody has suffered under the yoke of oppression the way blacks have in the United States. Rwanda and these other places, you know, they went through a strife. They had a certain period where they went through a strife. But you look back, ever since black people touched the shores in this country, they've been suffering, brutalized, raped, all kinds of mishaps. That's why we stand Black Lives Matter. So I don't know what Tyson is doing. I don't know what his people's struggles are. There may be a valid reason for it, but don't say that anything is more important than over here. Don't tell me that something is more important than what we're doing here. All right, we put a lot into this here. All right, to Tyson it may be more important because I don't understand the strife. I don't understand what the Gypsy people have gone through, so I won't condemn that. But I know what black people have gone through in this country, and I come from a civil rights family. My mother, my aunts, my uncles, I understand what civil rights is in this country. And man, you know, we had it with this shit. We had it. We had our wits in with people coming in here with punk ass cops, punk ass coward cops coming in murdering us, and then go back to the suburbs at night, you know, with some BS defense. I don't know how many police officers have walked away from murder in the last 30 years, 35. I ain't talking about before that. But in the last 30, 35 years, it's countless police that walk away after they murder a black person and nothing happens. And then they come back and say, oh, police reform or this or that, something else, a pacifier. They stick black people, no, here's a pacifier. We're going to do some police reform. We're going to get the community together with black people, and this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And then bang, 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 oh, we got another case. Well, we got to do something else. But police reform is just bang, bang, bang. There go another case, there go another case, and another case, and another case, until you got a whole dozen of cases, and then you come up with the whole march about George Floyd, which reflected what's going on. For years, black people was telling the people of the world what was going on here in America. And everybody said, oh, they did, it ain't that bad, it ain't that bad. Now we got videotape. The inception of videotape. And now, with the videotape, the police say, well, you're not really seeing this. That's not telling the whole story. You only saw one part of the video. But the part that's video is showing the viciousness of what they're doing. You see what's happening? They'll say something is going on, but they'll say, you didn't see the whole tape. No, but we saw enough. We saw enough that to know that you committing murder. So racism has got to stop.
Absolutely.
White privilege got to stop. You know, white privilege has got to stop. White privilege has got to stop. And until it stops, it's going to be some shit. It's going to be a whole lot of shit, you know?
Do you think there'll be change after Trump leaves office, if he leaves office?
I don't think I don't think nobody can be. No, I don't think nobody can be as bad as this guy Trump. He's bad. He's bad. He's bad, and he's bordering on. He's bordering on. He's bordering on insanity. Sometimes I think the guy is. I think he's insane.
Well, he did tell us to go and drink
I think
bleach.
that Donald Trump is. I think he's an insane individual. I think something's wrong with him. You know, because the way that he conducts himself, he is an intelligent human being, but he says and does and acts like a crazy person. You know, he acts like he's out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the things that he says and the things that he does. He said tonight that the virus, or we're just at the curve now. You know, we got a cure. You know, he says things, but he has nothing to back up the things that he says. I don't think that it's going to, I think it'll change as far as, race is concerned. I think that this guy, Biden, will look to heal up the rift between blacks and whites. I don't think it's a big rift to heal up. I think there is a rift that Donald Trump has created. You know, that us against them mentality. I think that we need a president that's going to heal the United States, that's going to make everybody see people for who and what they are and respect each other, you know, and try to build something together. So I think that this guy, Joseph Biden, I think that people are looking for, they're having him there do something. But this guy, Donald Trump, I can't think of anybody that I dislike more as far as presidents are concerned. This guy is terrible. This guy is terrible, man. You know, he's got to go. In my opinion, I don't care who out there don't like what I'm saying. He's got to go. You know, everybody got their own opinion. And my opinion is that he's got to go. The guy is bordering on lunacy. You know, I'm looking at him on the television tonight just before I spoke to you, and he's got a rally, and nobody is wearing masks. Everybody is right next to each other, breathing on each other. And I'm saying, why would he do that? He's the leader of the United States. Why would he allow these people to congregate? Because he doesn't believe. He doesn't believe that you know, that everybody should wear a mask. And the scientists are saying, look, just stop it. To stop the spread, vapors come from your mouth, vapors come from your nose. So to stop it, let's just wear a mask, you know, until we get to another point. And nobody's wearing masks. And I'm saying, why would he do that? Because the guy is crazy. He's like, I'm taking everybody, the ship is going down, so I'm taking everybody down with the ship. You know? But me, myself, no, this guy's a lunatic. So all the people out there who vote for Donald Trump, I'm letting you know, I'm not voting for him. The guy's a lunatic.
You definitely won't be voting for him.
No. Hell no. He's gotta go. He's gotta go. I saw tonight on the news that Rudolph Giuliani's daughter is taking a page from Donald Trump's niece, who is voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Wow.
Rudolph Giuliani's daughter was on CNN tonight, and she said she's going to vote for Joe Biden and Giuliani. I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. She said she's voting for them. She said, because my father is a yes man for Donald Trump. And she said, that's dangerous. This is what Giuliani's daughter said tonight. My father is a yes man for Donald Trump. And she said, that's dangerous. They asked, did you speak to your father about what you get ready to do? She said, no, I haven't spoken to him yet about it, but I will, but I'm voting for Joe Biden. He said, my father's a yes man. And she said, that in itself is dangerous. That's what the country is. This guy, Ted Cruz, this guy, Donald Trump called his wife ugly. He said, nobody wants her. Nobody wants her. And he kissing up to Donald Trump. This guy called his wife ugly. Oh my God. He called his wife ugly.
My word.
Yeah.
My word.
Donald Trump called this man's wife ugly.
Guys, no boundaries.
And Ted Cruz is kissing up to Donald Trump like he didn't say that then. If you call my wife ugly, then that's it.
Fight.
You cross the line. You cross the line. We don't need to talk no more.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to talk. We don't need to talk. It has to be on a must-be basis, and it will be very limited, And I'll be looking at you while I'm talking to you like saying, if you say something now, I crack in your mouth. I'll break your jaw. But this is the kind of guy he is. This is the kind of guy he is. You heard the remarks. You can just grab him by the, whatever you want to,
Yep.
Yeah. And people like that.
Leadership, eh? Where is it?
There are people in America that like that kind of talk. I love him. I love him. Does he? I don't care. You don't talk like that. You're the president of the United States, man. What kind of leadership are you offering? Yeah, sure, everybody talks like that, but you don't need nobody to go out there in public and to talk like that.
Absolutely.
The guy's mad, man. He's mad. And then people are like, no, he's a good leader. He's a great leader. Great leader what? What makes him a great leader? People come up with these fictitious, they have, let me say this and then you can go. But on CNN, they have what they call a fact checker. After every speech that Donald Trump gives, they have a guy that comes on CNN, and the guy is a fact checker. And 77% of the things that Donald Trump said is not true. And if they were true, then why don't Donald Trump sue this guy for saying they're not true? He could sue the guy for slander. The guy said, no. 77% of the things the guy is saying is not the truth. But the people who want to believe in Donald Trump, they'll say, well, Donald Trump did so. No, it's not true. It's not true. They just want to hold on to something like it is true. I have friends, man, that argue with me about what Donald Trump did, what he's doing, this, that, and I point out to them, I got a list of things that I wrote down somewhere in my house, so I can have a fact. The fact checker, I'll write his things down. I said, no, it's not true. It's not true. Look, and I have the reasoning, and the people still won't believe it. That's fake news. That's fake. You start sounding like him. That's fake news.
That's fake news.
So, there has to be a depleting. White privilege. It's been here on the earth too long. It's got to be depleted. It's got to be stopped. It got to be masked out at the root. It's got to be depleted. It's got to go. It's got to go. White privilege. All right?
Okay. Yeah. Uncle Bashir, once again, thank you for the opportunity to have this interview. I'm sure there'll be many people around the world happy to know that you're getting better and to hear your voice once again.
Yeah. I'm getting better, by the grace of God, I'm getting better. It could have been worse, but it wasn't. I'm getting better. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to all the people who called and all the people who wrote. You know, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be able to communicate. Do I sound like I'm crazy?
You sound like a man on the mend, Uncle. On the mend.
Yeah. I feel good. I feel good. You know, I got some issues, some things that's not complete yet. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm getting there. I'm trying. I'm trying my best.
Keep trying, Uncle. Keep trying.
So have a good night, brother. I'll talk to you.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you tomorrow before the fight.
Okay, sounds good.
I got Lomachenko winning this fight.
Same
9,
here.
maybe 10. 9 or maybe 10. I think he stops him.
8 between 8. I say 8 and 10.
8 and 10.
Yeah.
I'm saying either the 9th round or 10th round, he gets him out of there.
Okay.
I expect a good fight, but I expect that there's going to be a good fight for the first 5. But after 5 rounds, then the Lomachenko show is going to open up.
Yep.
You know,
that's how I see it as well.
What channel is that on?
I don't know. I think it's free. It's free to view in America. The top rank ESPN, free to view.
It's ESPN.
Yep, free to view.
So you can't get ESPN.
Yeah, I think we'll get it somewhere in the UK. I'm not sure where they'll be televising it, but I'll find out. But it's definitely on ESPN though. In America, definitely free to view. Top rank.
And Chisora and Usyk, they're the 31st.
That's going on Sky Sports.
And Povetkin and Whyte is when?
Sky Sports, November the 17th or something like that.
Oh, that's gonna be a good fight, man. That's gonna be a good fight. Povetkin and Whyte and Usyk versus Chisora, good fights, man.
Yep.
Good fights.
Good fights.
I really like those fights.
Okay. All right, Uncle.
Have a good night.
We'll catch up. Speak to you soon.
Contact me tomorrow prior to the fight.
Let's do that. I'll talk to you then. Good night, Uncle.
Yes. Have a good night.
You too.